Do the San Francisco 49ers have an internal leak problem? And did they figure out a way to find out where this information was leaking from? Because if you don't recall, or maybe you missed it, there was a leaked pick before the San Francisco 49ers selected Ricky Pearsall ultimately overall. Before it was announced, there were some leaks that came from people with close ties to the 49ers that it was actually Cooper DeJean who was selected. And since then, there is now this theory that this was to catch an internal leak. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you my reaction to finding out that it was potentially Cooper DeJean and then actually Ricky Pearsall, who was drafted, as this leak might have actually been planned. Bro, I'm tipping the pick. I'm tipping the pick. I have to tip the pick. Second it comes across, I am tipping it. Oh, I should not be this stressed out. Are we gonna be hyped? Also, shout out Brandon Ayuk still on the roster. Let's go. Shout out Brandon Ayuk still on the roster. Oh, Cooper DeJean to the San Francisco 49ers. Let's go. Oh, Cooper DeJean to the San Francisco 49ers. Hey, that's what Mike Silver said. If he's wrong, yell at him. Mike Silver is now apologizing for his tweet. I don't like that. Why is Mike Silver apologizing for his tweet? Mike Silver, why are you apologizing for your tweet? No, 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 no. Mike Silver said Cooper DeJean to the 49ers. He apologized for his tweet and said Ricky Pearsall to the Niners wide receiver out of Florida. What? I am speechless. The San Francisco 49ers have apparently taken wide receiver Ricky Pearsall. He is the wide receiver out of Florida. Oh, wow. I got to get over the fact that we got tipped incorrectly. Oh, my gosh. What an embarrassment that was. All right. Wow. That was the situation. The Now, as you can see on my face, I was completely surprised and taken off guard by the switch because Mike Silver originally put out that it was Cooper DeJean. Then he said, hold on, that was premature. And then it was announced that it was Ricky Pearsall. Well, funny enough, that Mike Silver might be kind of one of the main guys who is in the middle of this leaked information. And again, this is kind of a conspiracy theory post, and I'm all for those types of things. But let's take a look at this situation and how it's been posed, and let's dig into it. So I came across this from one of my guys named Joey, and he was talking about like this situation about how the 49ers may have found the leak internally. I was like, what are you talking about? And he shared this with me. And if you read this, it says the San Francisco 49ers finding their leak. One of the weirdest moments of the first round came at the end of the night. Two conflicting leak picks for the 49ers came out simultaneously, with some insiders saying they drafted Cooper DeJean, while others were saying Ricky Pearsall. Acme Packing Company's Paul Noonan had the best theory for why this happened. He believed that the 49ers intentionally leaked the wrong pick to members of the team that they suspected were leaks in their organization to confirm who they are. There's obviously no way that we'll ever know if this is true, but it definitely brings back memories of Tyrion Lannister figuring out who was spying on him in the Game of Thrones. Oh, yeah. Well, this is a juicy one. And I'm particularly invested in it because I was one of the guys who got by this fake information or this potential leak. And again, I was looking at Mike Silver's tweets. And if you look at Mike Silver throughout this offseason period, he's actually had quite the offseason because he kind of nailed some of the 49ers targeted free agent signings that they were going after. So he got those right based on some internal reports. And then he dropped this huge, kind of really opening up the door and letting it be known that the San Francisco 49ers, yes, are and potentially were going to trade Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel. That all came solidified out of a report from Mike Silver. And as you can see, kind of at the top, as he's talking about in that article, that specific one about the whole trade scenario, he referenced a source uh, with the 49ers with direct knowledge of the team's plans. So in this report, he mentions multiple times of this source with direct knowledge of the 49ers team's plans as someone who is a reliable source for the trade stuff and the trade information. So, with all that being said, because if there's anything that I've learned about the San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, they don't want any of this information out there. They don't want you knowing what they're doing before they do it. And especially with that report, it made it like from a narrative perspective, whereas, oh, Brandon Ayuk trade talk is a bunch of BS to boom. Wow, the 49ers are really trading Brandon Ayuk. I saw the narrative switch happen in my comments like that instantly. So it completely changed the narrative of the conversation around Brandon Ayuk, where a lot of fans didn't want to believe that a trade could happen or was even being discussed or was a possibility. So they would just yell and shout at anyone who would talk about that possibility. And then this made it almost feel like a reality. And then it almost became common knowledge just heading into the draft where we were openly talking about, like, oh, Brandon Ayuk could be traded. Then it was, oh, Deebo Samuel could be traded. So the point is there is someone internally who has this information. And it's funny that it's Mike Silver who was the one to leak the incorrect pick. That's why I'm over here like, oh, this story feels right up my alley. Let me put the tinfoil hat on because as someone who got by the information from Mike Silver, that was Cooper DeJean at 31, it kind of makes sense. Does it not? Does it not kind of make sense that if you were trying to determine who's sharing all this information with Silver? How is Silver getting back to free agency? Now the draft plans, the trade plans, and then the pick that he leaks happens to be the wrong pick. Hmm. Could it be? Did the 49ers figure out an elaborate internal plan to try to figure out who's leaking this information to Silver, and did they figure it out? I like this. This is this is entertaining to me. Um, but I don't know. It kind of feels like it does. I'm buying. Do you sell? You're buying or selling this as a conspiracy theory? I'm buying this. I think Silver's been too good with some of these reports, and no fault to him. He's doing his job. He's a journalist. It's his job to track down these things and kind of bring these things to light. That's technically his job as a journalist. But I also think the 49ers are smart. And I also think Kyle and John, that they have been so tight at being able to control information that comes out that I would not be surprised if this was a little bait and switch to figure out who that person is that's feeding Mike Silver this information. And they may have found him. I don't know. You guys tell me. Let me know if they found the leak and this was an elaborate plan. Find out who is spilling the beans. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.